Morun. Okay. Yes.
Hello, Mr. Vithoulkas. I'm glad to meet
Sorry.
you
Again, more loudly.
Okay. Maybe.
Okay.
Hello, Mr. Vithoulkas. I'm glad to see you again, as I'm sure our viewers are also. They say behind any person it's a story. So I would begin with your story. Did you choose homeopathy or homeopathy choose you?
Well, I don't know. I think both conditions are true. But you see, I came first in contact with homeopathy for my health, but I did not pay much attention until I had an accident with my car, and due to this accident, I started studying certain books, and that changed my life totally. And I followed. After that, I followed homeopathy for the last 54 years, I think.
Homeopathy is a path you walked many years, as you said. What has driven you forward?
The effect. What I have seen as an effect in curing patients. The effect was so tremendous, especially in the beginning when you don't know and you give a remedy and you cure unbelievable cases, and you feel that here is something very, very important. And I must tell you, in the beginning I thought all medical schools might have had a department for homeopathy. So I wrote to all medical schools in Europe and America to find out that not one was teaching homeopathy.
And then you decided to start a school.
Then of course I decided to study first of all. I was studying many hours for many years, and of course parallel I started teaching groups of doctors that they wanted to learn. So naturally I became a teacher of homeopathy without me understanding how this was happening. So in the end, of course, this school was established in '95, and since then we have quite a lot of students coming, and this year especially we have Romanian doctors coming.
Many Romanian doctors, of course. Why did you choose to establish the International Academy of Classical Homeopathy here in Alonissos? I hear there is a story behind this decision also.
Well, the idea of having a place, kind of a school, that could show to the students the effect of homeopathy, it's quite old. And my idea was, since we did not have hospitals, that we should have centers for homeopathy in which a more experienced doctor could show to the newcomers the effect of homeopathy, treating people and explaining. And out of this, I started having international courses in Alonissos here, and since many years, since '78, I was teaching in the public school here, where people were coming from different countries, until finally in '95 I established the school in which we are today.
You once said that you came here searching for the truth. Did you find the truth you are searching for?
Well, not here. Not here. It is true, I found Alonissos by coming to see the wise man of Alonissos. It was a man who was supposed to be wise, and most probably this was the reason why I should have to discover Alonissos after I had discovered homeopathy.
Okay. Let's get now to health problems. As human, we seem to be sicker as time passes by.
Sure.
What do we do wrong?
Well, many things I feel. one of the worst things that can happen to the human organism is to be affected by chemical drugs, whatever it might be. So pollution is one factor. The food that we eat, it's full of chemicals. The medical conventional drugs that they are overused are bringing, and I may say also that the immune system has been damaged quite a lot with all these injections on the human organism of all these drugs, and including unfortunately what is supposed to be a good thing for medicine, which is the vaccinations. Vaccinations, many times, they have side effects that we all know, and this is one of the reasons the immune system has been in a state of confusion.
Romania is known as a country with a high rate of chronic diseases. We also occupy the 6th place in antibiotic prescription. What would you recommend to the Romanian doctors who are interested in homeopathy?
Well, to learn properly this science, because it's really a science, and if they can learn it properly, they can be very successful, they can be very satisfied in themselves, the patients will be satisfied and coming back to health, and of course also they will be very happy financially, because they will have a lot of patients coming to see them. So if anybody learns this science properly, will become very successful and will be very satisfied, and most of it will make the population healthier. Instead of the population going down, as you mentioned, more and more into a degenerative state where the mind also is affected so much, and that's why we have so many cases of mental disorders, including panic attacks and a lot of psychotic conditions. There must be a reverse to this process, which is towards which the humanity is going at this moment. At this moment we have more and more people who are deeply disturbed in their health, either with psychological or physical or problems of the body, but also mental, emotional disturbances are exploding.
What would you define health or a healthy person?
Well, I have given a definition of health, which is the absolute health. The definition is a theoretical model. You see, it says that a human being could be considered healthy if he's free of any pain and at the same time has a feeling of well-being on the physical body. On the emotional body, an individual is free when it's free from passions. Free from passions. Passions enslaves us. Whether there's a passion for playing cards, whether there's a passion for sexual involvement, whether there's a passion for whatever, this enslaves the person and makes it unhealthy, makes the person unhealthy. So, in emotional side, if a person can be free of passions, then he will have a feeling of serenity inside. And that is theoretically is very good. I don't know how many people can attain it, but The health on the spiritual level is even more difficult for us to attain, because I consider that a person, in order to be really healthy, it must be in a state of humbleness, of non-egoism, non-selfishness. And that is a very high state which very few people can attain really.
In today's world, it's very hard
it's
to
very
achieve,
hard.
but not impossible.
Yes.
We have to, this is a goal to achieve for us.
But you see, the moment that humanity produces some individuals with such visions and produces enough of them, then in a good number, then maybe they will create a change in the how can I say, in the way that humanity is going towards a very bad state of selfishness, of passions, of wars, of antagonism, of conflicts, and of course all these bring about unhealthy situations and all the chronic diseases in which we're suffering.
None of those things you said seem to be real here in Alonisos. Here is a climate of peace. At least I sense it this way.
The people who come here, they feel this kind of peace, this kind of
inner peace,
serenity, inner peace. Maybe it is the climate, it is the fact that they are together. They gather together people who have the same visions, the same ideas, and this gives a kind of inspiration to the people and makes them inspired to try to learn how to heal others and to try to bring about this kind of serenity and peace that we need today in the world.
Okay, we spoke about the doctor, we spoke about the world. Let's speak a little bit about the patients. What would you recommend to the people who choose to be treated or healed with homeopathic remedies by homeopaths? How should they react? Should they be patient?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You see, it's a good question. The problem, the people who come here, okay, as patients, they have traveled a lot from very far. Not Romania is very close, but usually the patients coming from all over the world, from the United States, from Australia, from India, from all over the world. They have traveled very far. Why? Because they could not find a solution to their health problems. So they found some doctors, also my students, who were not also able perhaps to treat them. So the doctors proposed that they should take the journey and come up to here. And many of them, they are quite happy they made the journey.
But as to the patients, generally speaking, if I go to a homeopath in Romania, let's say, because we are talking about Romania, what I, as a patient, have to do? Yes.
Well, you don't have to do much. The most is to, if of course the patient has understood what has to do. The most he has to do is to tell the truth about how he feels, mentally, emotionally, physically. Don't hide from the doctor anxieties, depressions, grief that have been through, and all this is important information for us. We gather this information from a human being, and then we try to stimulate the defense mechanism by very little medicine. But if it is correct, it's like having a reset, as they say it in computer language. It's a reset of the organism which then everything falls into place and there is inner serenity, inner peace at the same time. The pains and the suffering is reduced. Of course, if somebody is suffering with quite severe diseases, chronic diseases, and for many, many years, of course you will have to be patient. For the treatment it may last 3 years, 4 years, or 5 years. Otherwise, can be also quite impressive. The cure comes quite fast.
Okay. In the last years, as we spoke, many Romanian doctors have studied here, this year also. How do you see the future in homeopathy in Romania?
If I see from the numbers that are here today, I think there's a great future, because it is the number of people, of doctors, that they will decide to take this knowledge that will count very much for the Romanian population. Because everyone needs treatment. It's almost nobody today is really considered as really healthy. So we need a lot of homeopathic physicians that will take all the impact of the sick people. So if this inflow of medical doctors continue to come into homeopathy, and I hope that at least some of the medical universities will adapt this system and will promote it. That will be a great blessing for Romanian people.
Thank you very much. And for the last question, we have a legend. The legend says so. It was a great builder, and an emperor asked him to build a monastery. He was famous for building monastery, and he could not build it. What he built with his workers during the day was going down during the night. And in his sleep, in a dream, God came to him and told him, just build your wife in the wall and the monastery will stay. So he did like this. This was a sacrifice, yes, his love.
Something he loved. What have I sacrificed?
Yes.
That's a good question. I don't want to say that I have sacrificed anything. I don't know if I have sacrificed anything. What I know is that what I did with all my heart and all my force, and forget about everything else. For me, it's only important that when a patient comes, that he will be well. And how much cost me in different other enjoyments, it doesn't matter, because actually I don't seek the enjoyment. I don't need it. My vision is a better world. And for that vision, I'm working as much as I can, of course. And the vision seems to be becoming more and more, I will not say true, but it's becoming more, a little bit of reality is coming to this vision.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you also. Thank you.